So, Alison, what gave you the idea for the Really Green Holiday Company?
Okay, well, I've always camped, always loved camping, and for a few years I've done holiday lets in a house that I owned in the area, so I knew a bit about holiday accommodation and tourists coming to the island. And I went to the big green gathering with a friend just as a trip with the children and saw the yurts and thought to myself, we can have a really lovely holiday, family holiday in one of those. And the business for holidays in yurts was the first idea, and then because I have been very interested in green issues and sustainable living for a while anyway, I thought, well, if I want to do this, I want to try and do it in as environmentally friendly a way as I can. And I thought, well, the technology's there now to have holidays with a low carbon footprint. And I thought, well, if I can combine the idea for camping in yurts and a green holiday business, then that was how I wanted to do it. 4 years ago, we bought our first yurt, and I started it with a friend of mine who wanted to do it with me, but she's not now doing it. She lives in Bembridge, and she felt it would be a bit much for her to do it. So Anthony's come in and is helping me with the business. But the first year, I very much wanted to trial the concept. So Lucy, this friend, and I rented a field in Chale, and for 6 weeks we and the children and dogs lived in the yurts to make sure the stoves worked, it was warm, it was comfy, it wasn't going to blow down in a gale. Got that right, and then started marketing the business over the following winter for the next summer.
What makes a yurt so special, do you think?
It's the solidness of them. Compared to a tent, you've got very good headroom all the way round. You've got the floor, so you're not on grass with lumps and bumps and the damp coming in. So you can put lovely rugs down. For me, it's having the bed, having a proper bed, duvet, pillows, blankets. So that is the draw, that you can lie in a tent, but you've got a very comfortable bed, and for warmth you've got the wood-burning stove, and it's magical lying in bed with the stove crackling away, watching the flames if you've got the door open, and keeping warm and cosy. But we're only ever going to have about 8 yurts here because the image of the business is a small site. I didn't want it to become like a campsite where you're all packed in and you can hear the people in the next yurt snoring or their children crying. You know, we wanted people to have privacy and to a certain extent feel they could be in this beautiful orchard all on their own. So each year we're trying to improve the range of units that we've got and the facilities. I'd really like to have a wood-burning, stove-fired hot tub for people. That's one of my things on my wish list. We rent the orchard, this area of the orchard, for just over 6 months of the year, and we set up at the end of March and take the yurts down, pack them away at the end of October. And it's just such a level, sunny site. You know, if the sun's out, you get the sun here all day. The trees create a lot of privacy, so each yurt has their own area for eating and sitting out.
And what's the ethos?
Well, the ethos is to give people holidays in yurts. I think that's the draw, is that people want to have holidays under canvas. The Isle of Wight's a beautiful place to come. So it's holidays in yurts, but it's making it as green as possible, but with choice, so people can choose you know, how much they want to cook on colour stoves, how much they want to use their car, how much they want to recycle. We've got recycling bins separating everything out, so it's really easy to do that if people want to do it. But we're not going to come round like the police and tell them off if they put everything in their bin and don't use wood to cook on at all. So we just make it as comfortable and easy to be green as we can, really. We don't have any electricity. The only mains service we've got is water, which we try to encourage people to use with thought. But for power, we've got all solar lighting, and in the yurts and in the dome here we've got candles, tea lights, we can recycle those. We've got a solar shower, so the sun heats the water during the day on days like today, but in the morning and on rainy days that's got a wood burning stove to back up. So every morning we light the stove and that centrally heats it as well, so it's really cosy in there in the mornings. And we've got 2 compost toilets, 2 different designs, both work pretty well, and we're lucky that we've got the lovely shop and cafe on site, and when that's open, Paul and Michaela are very happy for people to recharge phones there.
How much do you think the popularity of your holidays is because of the increasing awareness of the need to be environmentally friendly?
I think to quite a large extent people choose us because we're able to offer a lot of green options. But equally we get people who choose us not primarily for the green aspect, but for the location and because they've always wanted to stay in a yurt. So we've had people sort of all persuasions really, and we just hope if people come here they have a lovely holiday, and that if they weren't green before they maybe take away 1 or 2 things to try at home or to think about that they hadn't thought about before.
How important is it for the island, do you think, to develop green industries and businesses?
Oh, very. I mean, I think personally, I think all businesses should be moving towards being as sustainable as they possibly can. I mean, there's so many little things that everybody can do without any real cost. You know, they can cut down on the amount of fuel they use. Those sort of things just take thought, not necessarily any cost to businesses. So I think all businesses everywhere could and should be doing that. But I think for the island, especially because of the Eco Islands initiative, that's only going to be achieved if all businesses on the island can go a long way towards being as environmentally aware as possible. I think if the island becomes as environmental friendly or more so than anywhere else in the country or many places in the world, then I think a lot of people will be even more drawn to coming here. I mean, its beauty will draw people anyway, but if people can come and use a range of green services and approaches and see things and experience things in a green way that they can't anywhere else, it's going to boost visitor numbers and tourism for sure.